With the Senior Bowl a month away, here are my top offensive interior prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft. And what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Special thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the video. If you like weekly fantasy, player prop bets and such, especially with the wild card playoffs this weekend starting today, then check out Underdog Fantasy. When you sign up with promo code Broshmo, they will match your deposit up to $100. Remember, sign up, promo code Broshmo, start your betting journey today. And as always, my friends, bet responsibly. I will have a big board. I'm probably going to wait till after Monday's done, where everyone declares, so I know who specifically is in and out, not like with these prospect rankings where I've been having to yank players left and right, which I had to do for this one as well. But let's go ahead and get into this sucker with number 10. Got Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin. Got an early day 3 grade on him. He is 6'6", 320 pounds. Let me pull up stuff right here. He played every game this season and looked pretty darn good. Like, this is a cat that has really good movement skills. He's absurdly strong, just like legit. I think he's a guy that's gonna be really good at the combine. He can overwhelm guys with heavy hands. He can scoot the boot with them quick feet. He's stout at the point of attack. Maintains a wide base on initial contact, and I like the burst off the snap. I love the speed he recovers with. Still needs a little bit polish, but kind of is what it is. Now, he can look a little lost sometimes there out in space. It's just a matter of getting more reps, and this year he looked a bit more comfortable. There are times where he does struggle to climb to the second level, or at least know what to do at the second level, but again, that was something he looked a bit better at this season, especially in the second half of the season. His run blocking was really good. Now, his hands can be a bit inconsistent, and he has to really work hard to get leverage, because guess what? He's 6'6", so he's kind of up there. It's a little harder to get leverage when you're so dang tall. Struggled with penalties both last season and this season, but if you did notice it, a lot of his penalties came early in this season. Like, I think all his penalties in 2021 came within the first 6 games, and this year, if you look at it from week 8 on, he only had 2 penalties called on him. He had 6 all year, so it's nice to see him get better as the year goes on, gets cleaner. But yeah, very solid year for him. Only allowed 5 pressures and a sack. Number 9, we're going with Nick Broeker out of Ole Miss. Homeboy is 6'5", 315. If you didn't know, now you know. They moved him to guard this season. He played actually 3 seasons for Ole Miss at left tackle, but the move to guard was kind of an obvious choice to make because he just lacked ideal length for the tackle position. There are times he would overextend to try to make up for those short arms, and it resulted in just being off balance, led to many penalties. 2021, he had 10 penalties, and guess what? Oh man, look at him this year. You kick him to the inside, only 3 penalties. Who would have thought it would make such a difference? Yeah, he was a good guard prospect. I think I was saying this even last year when I thought he may or may not come out. Now, listen, play strength ain't going to be a thing for him. Not much physicality to his game. He's a little bit more of a finesse guy. Doesn't have that finishing mentality the NFL loves, but he does have the ability to mirror a lot of defenders, especially on the interior, and he does a good job keeping himself in between the rusher and the quarterback. He's pretty darn good at the point of attack. Like, if he can get his hands on you, like, he's got a strong grip. He really does. He shows good core strength, which means you're not going to bend this guy, or you're not going to see waist bending, so you're not going to really worry about this cat, like, putting his eyes down. He's going to know what's going on around him. He's got a little bit of pop in the hands, too. Like, the hands are very strong. The overall, like, full body strength, it's It's kind of is what it is, like, but like the hands are very strong. He's very technically sound, good foot quickness. Like the moved guard just made sense. We're gonna see this cat at the Senior Bowl. I cannot wait. All right, on to number 8. We got Brady Daniels out of Utah. This cat actually played left tackle this season and actually played pretty well for Utah. Really did. He is 6'4", 297, so sub 300. Not ideal, but you can get away with it sometimes. You can get away with it. He's been all over the offensive line. Like he's played left guard, played right tackle, majority of actually 2021. He was actually a left guard in 2019 and 2020, moved to right tackle in 2021, and then played all a left tackle this season. You just like to see that versatility along the line. He's shown to be a very effective run blocker no matter where you put him, so you like that. Good explosiveness on the line. He rattles off a great combination of blocks. He does a good job of climbing from the line of scrimmage to the second level, and really only gets more physical as the game goes along. So you really love to see that. Like this is the man that doesn't tire through the game. He just gets better and better. The move to guard, I think, is probably going to be what happens in the NFL. He's going to be like a swing, could be a swing tackle as well. Just doesn't have the ideal size. It doesn't really have a desirable play strength, or at least you think the play strength's not entirely desirable for the interior, but he lacks the ideal size to stay on the outside. Like if you go back to like this, if you go back to like even this season, like the middle part of this season where he was facing teams like USC, Oregon State, and like UCLA, like there were a lot of negative plays in pass protection on this cat's like tape. There just were. Like he prefers to be the first at the point of attack, so he's got this attacking mentality. So like you could probably hide some of that in like a play action heavy offense, because like typically, you know, if you're going to sit back in pass protection, then you better sit back in pass protection. You don't want to be jump at the line. You're gonna like you don't want to be jumping towards the defenders. You're gonna end up getting yourself caught and just allowing a pathway for interior defensive linemen to just disrupt the pocket, force the quarterback to the outside. So you don't want that. You don't want that. It's not ideal. There are times where he looks awkward kicking back and having to initiate contact when he kicks back in pass protection and he's not the one to initiate contact. Like this is a guy that likes to be on the attack. The attack. To be fair, in pass protection, he was a lot more consistent than the prior season. But like there's a lot to like about his game. Again, I kind of like him early day 3. We will see him at the Senior Bowl as well. Now let's get to these day 2 guys in Olusegun Timmy out of Michigan, former Virginia player, by the way, transferred to Michigan this season. He's been playing center basically his whole career. He was playing center the last 3 seasons at Virginia, and did at a very good level this season. Only allowed 9 pressures, no sacks. Was flagged 6 times, but this dude's an exceptionally powerful blocker who likes to bury guys. This is an NFL mentality, dude. He wants to bury guys in the run game. Just in general, presents a nice wide base, gets out of his stance pretty quick, has a lot of pop in his hands, moves men against their will. I love that. I love guys that just impose their will. He can get to the second level fairly quickly and just erase linebackers. I mean, literally erase, like Thanos snap. Bye, gone. He plays within his assignment, shows the ability to mirror smaller rushers with quick feet. He's able to get out in front of screens and stretch runs and I mean, honestly, at that point, he's just licking his chops like, I can't wait. I'm going to kill a receiver here. I said receiver, a corner, my bad. Don't be blocking your own teammates, man. Jeez Louise. This is a guy that has that attacking mentality. I kind of talked with Daniels, where he wants to be the one to initiate contact. Sometimes it does get him in trouble in pass protection, but he's been a fairly good pass protector over the last 2 seasons, and this is pulling from both while he was in the SEC and in the Big 10. Now, he does stop his feet on initial contact. Don't kind of like that because it kind of opens you up to a variety of different moves. Does struggle to get leverage at times, but especially more so when he's not attacking. He like back in pass protection, he could play a little bit high. But I'd like this year. I think the coolest thing I saw was how much better his independent hand usage was. That he could throw punches. That he wasn't a guy that was just like, going at you like with both hands. Like he just that independent hand usage is just so nice. You like to see that. And it doesn't, like, you do that and not do this. I hate doing. I'm trying to avoid my mic, but like this, because you could easily lose balance that way. Like, when using your hands independently, it's much harder for you to just completely whiff on blocks and such. But dude had a banger year. I got him here at the back end of day 2. On to number 6, I got Steve Avila out of TCU. Congratulations, Horned Frogs, making it to the national championship. Kind of wish he put on a better game, but kind of is what it is. But he was making the move to left guard this year after 2 years at center. And he was just as good, man. This is a guy that could probably play both guard and center in the NFL. He is stupid big, 6'4", 330. And he moves actually he's pretty quick out of his stance. He shows quick feet, whether it's in a short area or on the move. He can mirror defenders pretty well in pass protection and hits them with just raw power. No kidding. You're 330. You best be pretty strong. And guess what? He's a pretty strong. Yes, indeedy. Now, hit it. He has so much upper body strength that he could legit just bend guys backwards. Gosh, that sounds dirty. He hits defenders with strong hands, has impressive hand grip, and he's a guy that could go further. Like, to sum up things I don't like about him: leverage, technique. And the technique actually came a long way this year. It's just his hand usage is a bit slow. It's a bit lumbering, which is kind of weird. You would think with these bigger guys, they'd be like, it would be their lower body would be more slow, more lumbering. But no, for this case, it's actually his hands. Now with leverage, he is a big boy. He is kind of tall for a center at 6'4". Not that much taller, but still technically a taller center. He just struggles to sink his lips and get low, and actually get under guys' pads. Kind of is what it is. There are times he has a hard time dealing with players that can rattle off moves one after the other. He is a guy that relies a lot on his size, just being able to slow defenders down. We kind of saw this in the Georgia game, whereas he was facing guys not necessarily as big as him, but maybe 15, 20 pounds lighter, but that were just more explosive, much more twitched up, and honestly, that whole line struggled against that Georgia defensive line. But in all honesty, man, I think this is a guy that's got a lot going for him. So I got him also with a 3rd round grade. On to Cedric Van Peebles out of Georgia. Got a top 75 grade on him. He's been playing center his whole career, or at least the last 2 seasons there for the Georgia Bulldogs. Congratulations on your natty. Matter of fact, the dude also added another name in his name, but you know what? Cedric Van Peebles long enough. I didn't want to add another name to this. I'm sorry. Maybe when we get to my final rankings where I have more room to add from longer names, maybe I'll go ahead and do that. But this dude's a very good athlete for the position. He has good length, shows good foot speed, whether it's on the move or just climbing to the second level. He's got a good anchor, shows good core strength. You'll never see him get bent backwards. He has that nasty mentality the NFL loves. He just wants to bury guys in the run game, and he shows pop in his hands. This is the guy, and while we saw a bit less of it this year, actually, I think more so in the run game, he felt more the same as he was last season, as he's a bit lungy, man. Like, this is a cat that finds himself on the ground quite a bit. And especially like on pull blocks, man, you'll see him trying to lunge at guys and just get toroed like he's a bull. He can do a better job of keeping his feet moving on contact, but I will say this: his overall awareness of what's happening around him got better this season. I saw a significant improvement in year 2 of that, so it might be more of a mentality thing at the next level. It's just like, hey, yo, reel it back, bro. Yeah, you can't be on the ground. You can't be playing off balance like this. You can't be playing out ahead of yourself. So, a little minor fix, but man put out a good year, especially in pass protection. Then we got at number 4, Luke Whippler out of Ohio State. He declared this season, won the starting job back in 2021, ended up being the starting center again once again this season, and did a pretty darn good job at it. He's very technically sound, and you'll hardly ever see this guy lose a rep. Only allowed one sack this season, 8 pressures, and that was on 450 pass rushing snaps. He presents a wide base. He consistently stonewalls defenders. He shows quick feet. He can get quick feet out in space and in pass protection. He does a good job of picking up blitzes and stunts. Coaches constantly praise this guy's work ethic and character. You're not going to find too many things wrong with Whippler. He is like a very good, very solid prospect that you think he's going to go to the next level and just he's going to be fine. You know, like if he ends up being like a top 10, top 15 center in no time, doesn't surprise me. He's just not that exciting of a player. He doesn't have that NFL mentality. He wasn't really asked to make blocks at the second level there in Ohio State. So there might be questions about his range and his lateral ability. I'm not too worried about it. I think he's going to test out fine. It's just the Buckeyes don't often do a lot of pull blocking with their centers, so we just don't know what his range ultimately is. Like, this dude's just solid and unexcited. And if anything, like, your offensive lineman, people say it's a you could say it's a it's a position that doesn't get a lot of glory, which is fair. But you could tell a good offensive lineman if you don't notice them the whole game. And it's like, what do you mean by that? I could, like, just watching like Tennessee and Jacksonville, right, a few weeks ago. Dennis Staley is so bad. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like, he was so bad that, honestly, this whole season. And it was like, he made a name for himself by how poor his play was. That's the thing. You know you're doing your job as an offensive lineman when nothing's happening on your side or in your area, your assignments. It's funny because it's like off topic here. It's like I used to be a server, a food server, a waiter back in the day, and I used to get along real good with the people, the cooks in the kitchen, and they would always tell me, you could tell a good server from a bad server by you will never know that the good server's there, because they're constantly getting the orders right. They're just doing their job. You know, you're not having to fuss with them or anything. If you don't even know that they're there, they did their job exceptionally well. It's kind of true for the offensive lineman. Now I know there could be glory in the run game and such by pancaking guys and whatnot, but like you kind of get the overall idea of that there. And that's kind of Whippler. I think that's the emphasis. So I like to think a perfect comp for Luke Whippler is me and my Serpent days. So there we go. Glad I hated Serpent so much. I'm glad I don't have to do it anymore. On to number 3, we got John Michael Schmitz. Here, 6-year senior. He is 6'4", 320. Really he planned on coming back. He could have been a day 2 pick back in 2022, but he was like, no, I'm going to come back to Minnesota. I love it up there. So he did, and you know what? He came out and had just another great year. He was first team All-American, and he's just one of the better, if not best, center prospects in this class. And he's a guy that could probably play guard as well. It's just we haven't seen it, but he's got the build to be able to do that. He's a very feisty center. While he might not have overwhelming strength, he is a guy that can kind of out muscle you. Like, I wouldn't say he's got that explosive strength, but like he could grind guys down. He really can. He's got that nasty, mean demeanor. He's this lunch pail type of football player. Like, take his little punch card, punch in, punch out. He's that type of guy. The lunch pail football players. I think that's the term for it. I don't know. Lunch pail and clock it, punch it in. That was all before my time. But you're going to like this guy's demeanor. He's got long meat hooks for arms, and once he latches onto you, you're stuck dancing with this guy till the play is over. He's got good footwork, good contact balance. He has a body type that can, again, play either guard or center. You like the movement skills. You like how he is at the point of attack. A guy that continually churns them feet through contact. And what have I said? I don't care about the position. If you're a guy that keeps churning and driving the feet through contact, you're just a good football player. Now, again, this guy isn't like explosively strong. That's just not him. There are times where, like, yeah, he gets roughed up on a play, and it's like, I mean, it happened. Those instances are few and far between, but you do see that he, while he's like a natural mover, he doesn't really have high end or elite quicks. But again, you could get by not being the most quick interior player in the class. You can get by being less athletic on the offensive interior. This guy's just good football player, deserves to go in the top 50. And then number 2, Andrew Voorhees. This is my guy. I love this guy. Another guy that probably should have came out last season, would have been a day 2 pick, decided to stay put. I assume it's because he thought he assumed USC would be competing. To be fair, they were. It was just, unfortunately, they end up losing in the Pac-12 championship. But Voorhees, he ends up getting banged up, actually, in the Notre Dame game. And he decides, instead of playing with the injury, I'm just going to go ahead and rehab and prepare for the NFL draft. So he ends up not playing the season finale. He doesn't play in the conference championship or in the bowl game. Instead, he's been rehabbing the injury. So I think he just wanted to come back and see USC succeed. And ultimately, they did do that. They did a phenomenal job this season. I mean, their only losses came against Utah and then Gulf Coast Utah. So, which is Tulane, apparently. So, like, it was a good year for USC. But Voorhees, man, he's been one of the more reliable guys in all of college football. He is 6'6", 325. He's played left tackle. He's played both guard spots. This is a guy I think could honestly play tackle in the NFL if you really need him to. So you like that versatility. But, like, ultimately, he's just going to be a very good guard. He showed very good movement skills. He's a mauler in the run game. He's just been opening up lanes for years there at USC. Like, what? I think he's legit been a star since 2017. This man has like 5 seasons of starting play, because I forgot he did get hurt in 2019. But Yeah, dude. Once he hooks on, like, he's got strong grip. Once he hooks onto you, good luck breaking free. He's just very smooth. He understands everything going around him. There are multiple instances on tape where you go back and just watch him actually pick up other guys' assignments or failed assignments, where it's like he's a busy body. He will, if there's no work for him in his assignment, he will go find work, and you love that. You really do. A guy that moves well, understands his surroundings, high IQ player, just very good. Height could be an issue. Again, you're always going to be curious, like wondering with the tall guy, like the tall offensive lineman problem. How will they be able to consistently sink their hips, get leverage, get under the pads of defenders? That's just always going to be a worry. But there are times where he will concede ground early in the snap, but he does a very good job of resetting his anchor and just recovering from early losses. Like, I'm a big fan of Voorhees. Absolutely love him. And then last but not least, I got Osiris Torrance. And you're going to be like, what? You got a top 50 grade on him? Guys, I haven't. He's a first rounder. Like, I don't think I've given an actual, like, first round grade. I've just done, like, top 5, top 10, top 20, top 50, and then top 75. And then from there, I go to third round. So that's right now where my grades are at. So you could, if you see top 50, which I probably should have said this, at the beginning of my rankings series and not on the last video of my rankings series, but like a top 50 grade basically means fringe first rounder at this point. But this guy's got a stupid big build. He originally came from Louisville, joined Billy Napier over there in Florida, and then was a first team All-American. He was phenomenal. Great length, good build for the position, lots of power. Who would have thought at that size, at 347? He looks to bury guys in the run game. So guess what? The NFL is going to love this dude's mentality. I love his grip strength. He always wants to just impose his will on defenders. Gotta love that. On top of that, he's never allowed a sack in his career ever. That's wild. He understands blocking angles, and he does his best work in close quarters. Just does a good job of climbing to the second level, and often really just needs one arm to do so. Like, he's that ridiculously strong. Now, the biggest concern, and honestly, like, I feel like this warrants a red flag. Like, if you go back to his junior year, he was 420 pounds, and he's cut down an extraordinary amount of weight. He was down to 320 at Louisiana, and he's put on like 20 to 25 pounds since coming from Louisiana. So weight might be something to monitor with this guy, really. So I might just give him the red flag for that. I don't know how much that'll really affect his grade. Like, I don't think it will. Like, I think this dude's very disciplined. He knows at what weight his body performs the best. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, to get it down from 420 his junior season, that shows a lot of discipline. He can play a bit high at times. Also, not the most fluid athlete. You never are going to be the most fluid athlete at 347. But I'm not too worried about that. Could be a bit more precise with his hands. There are times he overextends. But you know what? He was much better at those things this season. But yeah, dude's a great prospect. Deserves to go in the first round, be the first interior prospect off the board. He has done work at both guard spots, if you're curious. But that's it for the video. Before we get out of here, Christian Hayes would have been on this list, but he's returned to school. I'm glad I checked before I did. I was like doing the overlays on this video. I was like, I haven't seen Christian Hayes decide to return. But I know, who was the linebacker? It was Jackson Mitchell, I think. I don't know. Linebacker from UConn. I knew he returned. So I was like, I wonder if maybe Hayes returned. Went back, checked, and he in fact did. I'll just rattle off a couple of guys that just missed the list here. We got Ricky Stromberg out of Arkansas. Antonio Maffei out of UCLA. Jackson Kirkland, favorite of mine. McLennan Curtis And another guy we're actually going to see in the Senior Bowl that I can't wait to see more of, Jake Andrews out of Troy. Jake Patterson, you can throw that in regard, but I mean, at that point, we're getting to these mid-day 3 picks. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.